The pressure I was under to get the money, I could lead to that being the reasoning why I overlooked things on the contract when we wrote it, because it wasn't planned, and I wanted to do it all very detailed because I've been burned before. Oscar even had mentioned before that he was aware that Jason had mentioned that he was going to pay more than the $2,000 I was originally asking.
Oscar, what have you got to say about the terms?
I just know that both parties had said some things that I had heard from both of them. The dollar amount, I didn't.
Well, did you have a conversation with Mr. Bright about what the terms of the deal were? Are you in the middle of this?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of this. Like I said, I know both have said things like, like she said that she would get the windshield fixed, and I know he said somewhere along the lines that he was gonna pay her a little extra or something.
But did the plaintiff ever say he was going to give him $2,400?
No,
Okay.
Mr. Bright, at some point you told the defendant that she would have her money the first week of the month in September.
Yes.
But she didn't get it then.
No, she did not.
Why not?
I was asking my parents because she was hounding me so daily. My parents don't do the Venmo and don't do the Cash App, and they live in Oregon. They were going to mail it, but it wasn't quick enough for her. So my parents flew me out over there to their house, and when I said, when I return, I'll have that $400 for you. And when I returned, the car was gone. And we were in communication. Before that, I actually said, what can I do to appease you to make this right? I can take my TV to the pawn shop. What do you want me to do? And then within a few days, I went to my parents, came back, and then the car was gone.
Did you have the money when you got back?
Yes.
You were ready to pay her?
Yes.
Why didn't you communicate that with her?
Oh, she didn't even tell me she had the car.
It would have said a lot to me to read something that said, hey, I'm on my way with the money. That would have been helpful.
Correct.
And why didn't you give him notice that you repossessed the car?
Honestly, Your Honor, I don't know. At that point, I was at my wit's end. He had lied to me and given me multiple dates that he was going to pay me and didn't.
He didn't really lie to you. The contract said TBD. What do you think is
He told
reasonable?
me more than
Because TBD, I mean, is it fair to say, okay, TBD could be a year from then?
True.
That's not fair.
No, not at all. So I actually was working on getting the money during that summer, but I had a heart attack. So I was in the hospital more than once. So that was a big portion of why so much time went on. But as TBD, she knew, and we had discussed that the payment would be made when I started working.
Does school start back up?
Yeah, I'm unable to go back to work because I had a heart attack.
I think we have a...
Good. All right. We'll excuse you while we deliberate in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate
This
it.
courtroom is now in recess.
We have a contract now, so it's not a he say, she say. The issue of whether there was a verbal agreement is not an issue for me at all. I'm going with what I'm reading in this contract, and that was for a sale of a car for $2,000 with 2 payments, exactly how it's laid out. My issue is how much is the plaintiff entitled at this point? Because you pointed out that the defendant's basically making how much, $3,400?
Yeah.
He's owed something because he's without a car. He made at least, 90% of the payments if we go with the contract, which is $400 left on the car. And the contract says TBD.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she threw everybody under the bus. Oscar, the plaintiff, insinuating that he's lied to his partner, and this is why all of that doesn't matter. What controls is this contract, and what is at issue is what is her responsibility as the seller to the buyer when she repossesses the car, but what is she owing him because he's left with nothing?
Well, yeah, and I should clarify what I said earlier. I said she could have a legal right to repossess a car if payments were late. I think I kind of jumped the gun a little because he wasn't late.
If you go off the TBD.
Right, if you go off
the contract.
If you take the contract, she didn't have a right to repossess it. So
Right.
he deserves at least his $1,600 back.
Right.
He deserves whatever property he's claiming.
I think that his ask here, which is for the money back, is the right breach of contract remedy, I think, under the circumstances.
Well, that's what he's asking, right?
Which is he wants his $1,600 back plus the value of his property, which was about $550.
$550.
Yeah.
But I think the way to properly compensate him beyond simply giving his money back, having a car that he bargained for repossessed improperly, is to give him every dollar he asked for.
So had this been a proper repossession, she stole the car, she should have taken what was owed to her and given the rest to him.
Even had we said, yes, you had the right to repossess it, she still would owe him money.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so we have a verdict in favor of the plaintiff for the full amount of $2,150.
We do.
Okay.